Hey everyone, we're gonna pick up right where we left off in Devil May Cry today. This time I decided to go with post-commentary for a few reasons. I just thought it would be more streamlined and it would be a little bit more informative, but I'll also try to keep in some comedy. Also, we run into two bosses today, so the first one is pretty easy, beat that, no problem. The second boss was actually much tougher, it took me around 6 tries. So just to cut the fat, I decided to shorten things up a bit. The second boss is also pretty easy if you know the strategy, but we'll get to that later. First up, we have the rematch with Phantom. That's the lava spider guy, in case you forgot his name. We'll try to exit here to trigger the cutscene.
Finally! I was getting tired of playing your childish games!
I take a few hits at the start here, but after a bit we slip into a pretty good rhythm. He's pretty much the same as the last time you fought him, but it's an open arena this time, so there's no pillars to hide behind. Instead, try to interrupt the fireballs with Dante's stabbing thrust attack, and you should be okay. If you start getting low on health like I am here, don't be afraid to use your Devil Trigger to slowly recover some HP. Really, I should have followed my own advice here. Also watch out, if he blocks one of your attacks, he can kind of slap you out of the way like this. The thrust attack in Devil Trigger mode just absolutely destroys his health bar, so be sure to use that to your advantage.
You're right. I'm his son, Dante. Sweet dreams.
That's right, you put some damn respect on Sparta's name. Did you see his spooky sword dance in the opening?
He became a legend.
Defeated the Phantom. Incredible power.
Yeah, thanks for the help. Alright, now we'll pick up these red orbs and hop on down to pick up the trident. This is another key item that can't actually be used as a weapon. I swear they're just doing this on purpose now, just to tease you. Next we'll hop down and activate this lever. And this will lower the drawbridge. And we see an item over there on that corpse. And guess what? It turns out to be the grenade gun. although you'd be forgiven for calling it a grenade launcher like a normal human being. But anyway, this is a very useful weapon for crowd control, although it's much slower than your standard guns, which are typically better for building up your Devil Trigger. Hopping down here, you have to put the trident in this pedestal, and then quickly make your way downstairs before the gate closes. It's a bit confusing at first until you realize you can actually jump over this gate, and if you don't make it in time, you can just go back upstairs and try again, so it's no big deal unless you're going for an S rank. And just like that, we've reached the end of this mission. B rank, okay, nice, I'll take it. On to mission 9, New Strength. I didn't quite have enough red orbs to upgrade Alistair, so I went for a Devil Trigger upgrade instead. Honestly, I think this ended up being a good move. In this section, I kind of finally figured out just how important the Devil Trigger mechanic actually is. Yeah, until this point I think I've been using it too sparingly, but yeah, you can just kind of use it whenever you want and refill it. It's really not that much of a scarce resource. Here the drawbridge closes and we'll get a message here on this circle. The Wheel of Destiny shall guide you to the land of the beginning. At this point we can't interact with this, so I'm guessing there's a key item that we'll get later to use here. Yep, I tried everything, so moving on. Over here we have another message on this stone statue. There's a message carved into the stone. It's a story of some kind. Destiny awaits somewhere deep in the Colosseum. Okay, so we'll head to the Colosseum later at some point, I assume. Anyway, we'll move along and head down this long stairwell. I see that green orb, but I'm gonna save it for later. Here we get ambushed and are introduced to a new enemy type, these lizard guys. This is a good chance to show off the grenade gun and how good it is at controlling groups of enemies, so if you're feeling overwhelmed, this weapon can give you more breathing room. A pretty standard fight with these guys, but they do move quickly, so just be aware that they can block your attacks, so that might leave Dante open to a hit, so just be aware of that. They also have this 2-hit combo aerial kick. Oh, and they can also jump out of the ground, but that's usually not too much of an issue. And that'll do it. After dealing with the ambush, we can now explore the area more freely. Back in the corner over here is a yellow orb, so be sure to pick it up, since there is a relatively tough boss coming up. Over here we have a door with a shield emblem that says, there's an emblem of a red shield on the door that glows with red light. Okay, it seems like we'll probably have to come back later for this. We also see this door with the following message. There's a decoration resembling 2 knights. It appears as though the knights should be holding something. Words are carved beneath the decoration. The shields that glow with light, and a pair of lances shall lead to the battleground. And lastly, we see another shield emblem on this door. There's an emblem of a shield on the door that glows with blue light. Pretty much the same thing as before. And over here is actually the current mission objective. We'll need to light this other flame to proceed to the end of the level. Okay, moving along, we'll go in here. Up here we'll find another yellow orb. Always good to have those continues. And over here, we'll see some red orbs and a switch to attack. These platforms rise up, but before we start platforming, there's a Devil Star item over here. This is also pretty useful because we do have a boss fight coming up, so good to have those devil gauges. Man, this slow run speed kills me. Okay, moving back to the platforms. The camera angle is not great, so it may take a few tries. I found it best to stick more towards the inner edge of the platform you're jumping from to land on the platform in front of you. Once you reach the top, you're rewarded with a new weapon. For real this time, not just a decoration like the other ones. Ifrit, a flaming gauntlet that gives the user increased powers. Nice, alright. Let's go hop down and try it out. It's quite a bit slower, but it does have more impact than the sword. I didn't really get a chance to show off the full moveset here, but you can also charge up attacks, and there's an aerial kick that hones in on enemies. I'm sure we'll get a chance to show that off later though. And now it's time to go face the boss.
You, the human, the son of Sparta who challenges the darkness for this.
Block off, Featherface, or you can stick around and find out the hard way.
Okay, so at this point in the game, most people would probably be using the grenade gun and Ifrit for this fight, but honestly the winning strategy seems to be just guns and Devil Trigger. Griffin has a few moves to watch out for, like this dive bomb attack. Just dodge to the side, nothing too tricky. As you can see here, guns with Devil Trigger active just absolutely melts Griffin's health bar. Plus, dealing continuous damage while your Devil Trigger is not active builds up your Devil Gauge again, meaning you can actually heal over time more while also dealing tons of damage. So it's a win-win. Here we see Griffin's most difficult attack to dodge. Using guns in the air to hover helps, but if you lose any HP in the process, just use Devil Trigger to recover and you should be fine. Griffin also has this diving attack here, but it's pretty easy to dodge. This move is very choreographed and doesn't really track, so it should be pretty easy to dodge. Even if you're taking some hits, it doesn't really matter all that much because Griffin's attacks don't do all that much damage in a single hit. So just use Devil Trigger to recover, build up that gauge again, and you should be totally fine. Alright, we have him in red health now. Oof, terrible jump there. Here he's going for another dive slam attack. You can actually use this attack to your advantage for positioning as he lands directly in front of you. Just a few more hits to go. And that's it, that's the whole fight. And we didn't use a single melee attack. Wow, I didn't notice this when actually fighting him, but that dive bomb attack, if you get hit by it, that one does do a lot of damage, so definitely watch out for that. But I think that's the only time I've been hit by that attack, so it's not very likely to actually hit you. At this point I decided to do some extra exploration, so I didn't really find anything that valuable, so I just cut that out, and that's why there's an awkward cut here. Anyway, just use Ifrit to open the door and head on through. There are still a few last minute mobs in this level, so if you're low on health, be careful. Inspecting this door will trigger the cutscene. And here we get introduced to a new enemy type. These guys have fire-based attacks, and they can block and counter you with fire breath, which can be pretty annoying. So try to use the grenade launcher for crowd control, because they usually come in groups, and that should knock them down, leaving them open for more hits. We also get to show off Ifrit's moveset a bit more here. As you can see, there is a diving kick that kind of hones in on enemies, much like a falcon kick, really. You can also charge up your punches, which is pretty nice. That does more damage, but it is slower, so use it carefully. Oh, it's just so satisfying. You can use the kick to knock them down and then just keep beating on them, so use that to your advantage. It's pretty fun, pretty effective. Here we see the charge up punch, but I don't actually hit anything with it, so... But it's good to know that it's there. And that'll open up the door, and we can proceed. I'm just gonna check out some upgrades real quick, just to see what we can do. There are a few abilities that I'd rather save up for, so I think I'll save my red orbs for later. And here I'm wondering how I can switch weapons back to the sword. As it turns out, you just click on the right stick and that will switch. You don't even have to go into the menus like the guns, so that's where the confusion was here. But you can just switch them on the fly. And in one last desperate attempt to kill Dante, we have another encounter before the end of the level with these fire guys. Nothing too special here, but the door at the end is a red orb door, so just make sure you have enough red orbs. There is a statue up above that we'll see in a little bit, though. Here's that fire breath counter I was talking about. Yeah, it's pretty quick, so try to dodge out of the way if you can. If not, you can just use Devil Trigger to recover some HP and take them out more quickly. Oof, it is brutal timing. If you start getting outnumbered, using the grenade gun is pretty effective to clear them out and get some more hits on them. Also watch out for their long-range fire wheel throw attack. That is also pretty annoying, but they only really do that when you're far away from them. If you're relying on melee attacks to deal with them, it shouldn't be a problem. Oh, I was just barely out of range of that attack. And we have a yellow orb up here, always nice to have. And he kindly drops health. Alright, very nice. And that just about does it. Now we'll check out that red orb door. If you have enough, it'll just take it straight from you, but there is a statue up above that you can attack to get more red orbs, so I highly recommend getting that before just moving on. And it's right up here. It's a little bit hidden, but if you just jump up by the staircase, you should be able to get to it. And just over here is a Devil Star. I kind of fall down here. But yeah, it's just behind this tombstone. Always useful to have some free refills for your Devil Gauge. Not sure where this guy came from. I guess he was late to the party or something. Get slapped. And just like that, we have reached the end of the level. Unfortunately, I think my rank is pretty bad here. I did spend a lot of extra time exploring for no reason, so don't worry about it. Thank you all so much for watching. I know today has been a bit of a different style, still testing out a different techniques, so I hope you enjoyed it. And please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you did. See you next time.